Welcome everybody, Monte here, bringing you another first look from the Monterico gaming community. Today I'm going to be handing this first look over to, once again, a returning content creator for the channel, Durinde. He's going to be covering the game 3030 Deathwar Redux. Very cool game. You got to make sure you go and check out his YouTube channel. I've got the links in the About section here, and I will also be posting it in the comments. But let me stop ranting here and hand it on over to Durinde. Enjoy.
And hey folks, Durinde here, and today we're taking a look at 3030 Deathwar Redux for Monterico Gaming. Glad to have you along. 3030 Deathwar Redux, well, it's a hard game to pin down in a couple of sentences because they pulled in a whole bunch of different types of gameplay into one single game. First off, we got these 2D characters kind of reminiscent of the old 90s point-and-click adventure games. Yeah, they're part of it, and that is part of the gameplay. Kind of this 2D point-and-click thing. Doesn't seem to be puzzle-heavy, though. It's more of an interface for picking up jobs and stuff, because the main bulk of the gameplay is what you see in the background here. You got this floating space station. You got this giant ship floating by. You have these little ships flying by as well. A little space taxi going by there. And yeah, that's the main part of the game. It's kind of a 2D asteroids-esque space game. But there's another layer. There's yet another layer. Yeah, that's right. If you played Wing Commander Privateer, if you played the Elite games, well, there's a layer of that as well. Yeah, you can pick up jobs, you can buy and sell cargo, you can hunt down pirates, you can upgrade your ship, all that fun stuff, and you do that on the space stations. It's also another kind of 2D cargo salvage operation where you're this guy, you're floating around in a suit, and you're floating around like a derelict ship, and shooting baddies and picking up salvage. So that's yet another element. So like I said, it's hard to describe in a couple of sentences because there is so much going on with this game. It was released September 2017 by the folks in Bird in Sky, and it seems to have a fairly good following. They recently released a major patch for modding the game, so if you're interested in the modding community, you might want to check this game out for those reasons. And also, if you are interested in this game after taking a look at it with me, well, it's on sale right now on Steam until March the 22nd. And of course, the prices will vary from country to country. For me, it would cost me about 11 bucks Canadian. I'm going to load up a game that I had running for a while. So we're going to take this, and I'll try to walk you through some of the elements of gameplay. I won't be able to cover everything because I did mention that 2D salvage operation before. We won't be able to see that because kind of the story of the game is that you start off with a pretty cool ship, but that's taken away from you for various reasons, and you're given a space taxi and you have to work yourself back up and try to figure out what happened to your ship and why it was taken away from you. I don't want to really ruin the story for everyone because there's a story going on in the background as well. Some stuff going on with space pirates, some space gold. That's all you need to know. So I'm not going to touch any of the story elements for this little look at because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. So this is us walking around the station. And yeah, you're saying, well, it's kind of like one of those old 2D point-and-click adventure games. And we can certainly point and click and talk to various people here. And actually, that's our little robot friend. He's doing some work for us in the background in terms of the story, so I'm not going to talk to him and ruin it. But there's, you know, as opposed to those old point-and-click adventure games, there doesn't seem to be any puzzles. I'm not mashing together a potato and a fishing rod to try to make some sort of rocket or something like that. So, as I mentioned, there's kind of this elite Wing Commander Privateer layer. Let's take a look at that. So we have a trade console. We can buy and sell goods. These little bugs here are pretty cool. You can kill them and flick them off the console if you really desire to. So yeah, if you like playing those games and you like being a merchant, you can do that. write down the prices and see if you can make a profit. It's a whole different type of bunch of ships you can buy. You start out with this shuttle, which is basically a space taxi. If you've ever seen Fifth Element, the taxi that the main character has, it reminds me a lot of that. I've upgraded to a kind of a heavier ship, can take more cargo. I don't think there's a way for me to actually look at it from this console, so I'm just going to leave that alone. You can do all sorts of upgrades. They cost money. So right now I have a missile and a Gatling gun on my ship. I've picked up some bioreaders, all sorts of different little upgrades. Actually, I can upgrade a couple more things, so let's do that. So I got a better thruster, and I can look at the credit history. The last part to see is previous spendings. View in your personal screen. Okay, that's cool. And I got a cargo scanner, so I can look at targeted ships manifest. So if I want to do some piracy myself, I could probably use that. I can repair my ship, but I don't need to right now. There's news, and there's also a list of wanted pirates. So if you want to become a bounty hunter, that's probably the screen for you. I'm going to head over to the job console here. And as part of the initial story of the game, you start off with a space taxi, and you can't even leave the first system that they start you off in. Actually, a lot like the original Wing Commander Privateer. So I think you have to buy some sort of a warp engine or a jump drive or something like that to actually leave the system. We won't be doing that, but I will do a cargo run if there is junk cleanup. Okay, this is in system here. So we get 8,750 space bucks. And I do have a time limit to get this person there, so let's accept this job. And we're going to head out into space, and we're going to see kind of the main part of the gameplay here. This is a very reminds me a lot of asteroids. Thrust matters. I can shoot. I got a space bus because I upgraded from the space taxi. Yeah, so thrust matters. And I do like the fact that they do present kind of a living universe. There's all these ships, and they're going to their own various destinations here. So I'm going to pull up the map, because we do have this job. I have to go to El Sur, so let's go there. Okay. So current system, I want to go to here. There we go. And that is actually fairly far away. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to point myself towards, because you have this kind of radar overlaid over your ship here. I'm going to head towards this this space station. And of course, you see we're going fairly slow, and time is ticking down here. What am I going to do about that? Well, I'm going to engage this kind of little in-system jump drive, which kind of pushes us along a little bit further. So there are planets, there are space stations. I haven't actually visited any of the planets yet, but I assume that their interface is similar to the space stations. So yeah, this is kind of the main crux of the gameplay. You take jobs, you can do combat in this. You can search for salvage. You can try to take out bounties if you want to. And yeah, you try to upgrade it, and you know, if you want to follow the story. Well, yeah, there's that little robot who's trying to do some investigation for you. I can refuel if I want to. I don't have a very big cargo hold because I'm a space bus. It's kind of hilarious because they start you off in like that taxi from Fifth Element. The aesthetic is interesting. It's got like I said, a lot of it's kind of that 90s pixel art style, but at the same time, there's also this surrealist, cyberpunk-ish graphic set that's going on at the same time as well. It's almost a mishmash of two different styles. Also, you hear some music in the background. It's I do like the soundtrack for this game, that's for sure. Adds a nice element to it. And if you're a YouTuber, they do have a neat mode that you can enable, which will disable any tracks that will land you a copyright strike. So if you're worried about that, then you know, this game is a little bit more friendly for YouTubing or streaming if you're into that type of thing. So we're coming up on the system here. It's all sorts of stuff going on in the background here. It's pretty cool. Like I said, it feels like a living universe. Alright, so I'm going to talk to these guys, and I'm going to ask for docking clearance. A lot of neon, a lot of, like I said, it seems to draw some references from Blade Runner and Cyberpunk as well. Okay, what was our mission? His name is Hiram. Okay, so we got to find him. There he is. I have a package for you. So he's speaking alien, which I don't know how to speak. So I won though, or I didn't win, but I completed the mission. And that guy's having a good time. He's just kind of floating around there, and there's also like a squid in a bag there. Like I said, there's kind of this surrealist cyberpunk layer that's pretty cool. Like there's this lady floating around in this noodle bar here as they're stopped at, I don't know, some sort of space stop sign. So yeah, that's it for a quick look at the game. If you're not like a big fan of Twitch gaming, and I don't mean like the service Twitch, I mean you know, moving and shooting and dodging and weaving and all that stuff, this may not be the game for you. You know, the combat kind of is related to that. But if you're a fan of like Elite Privateer and you don't mind like this top-down 2D interface, I think there's some good gameplay here to have. And as I mentioned, there seems to be a budding mod community for this game. So if you're looking for being able to extend gameplay through modding, you know, this may be the game for you. So thank you so much for joining us. I may do a series on this one of these days. So check that out if I do that. In the meantime, if you like what you saw, think about liking the video, and be sure to subscribe to Monterico's channel, because he's got all sorts of great videos going on. Take care, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.